Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Do you know what bread and circus means? Not word by word, but in history. Yes, that's exactly what it means. In ancient Rome, after Rome started to decline and became kind of bankrupt, the Dacian looting, when they attacked Dacia and they took the gold and all that, it was a little bump and they were able to party for some time. That resuscitated the Roman Empire. Then it went down and from there never recovered. Plus Christianity and all that. So the emperors lost support of the masses because the things were going down, the country was bankrupt, and they couldn't conquer. They lost their virility. Therefore, these guys were very rich, the emperor, but the people becoming, the country, the state, the Rome became poorer and poorer. They started instituting gladiator fights and bread to the rabble, to the people, to the commoners, to the Romans. So keep them entertained and fed without producing anything. Fed and entertainment. Does it sound familiar here? They didn't have the drugs, maybe they had the alcohol, but I don't remember distributing alcohol. So the same sounds is like here, a bankrupt country, right? And keeps us with the television, with the telephones, with iPads, with garbage. And they give us perks. Or they give them perks in order for them not to create a little uprising and then threaten the stability of the guys in charge. Now what's going on here? We have California, the state of California. California, let me show you what it did under the beautiful leadership of the left. And not only the left. Associated Press, December 7th, 2023. California faces record $68 billion budget deficit, nonpartisan legislative analyst says. $68 billion deficit. That means that you spend much more, you spend $68 billion more than you get. So it's like you have $100,000, let's say, income per year, and you spend $68,000, you're in debt. You spend more, not in debt, you spend more a year than you actually receive, you get in your house. Now what would you do? Well, I think the first thing you will do, and now I'm trying to, bullshit, you will increase the minimum wage, correct? You expand the programs, the assistance programs as they call them, social assistance programs. And you will tax the producers, the businesses, the private businesses more. And this is just the beginning. And you just give money for reparations maybe, or things like this. The people who got this country, I can call it a country, because I think its economy is about what, in the 8th or something in the world or something. So these guys who got California in this kind of circumstance, they could be called traitors. I told you this many times. You can't just, this is something that's wrong with democracy, you can't just elect someone with one vote and give that person 4 years, 5 years, depending on how long the mandate is for, and that person in those years, 4 years, 5 years, you can't remove that person unless that person does something illegal. You remove him, you wait the whole 4 years, and then you vote for someone who's going to do the same thing these guys did, and is going to tell you the same thing they did, that they will do. So you wait 4 years, and they wreck your state. What do you do with them when they leave office? And they leave the office with more money than they got in, and wait after that. What do you do with these guys? Are they traitors? I would consider them traitors right there. I would. I mean, you destroyed the future of a generations because the budget is right now is in a deficit. Even if you start, let's say, making new policies, mandates, let's say laws. You change it, it's gonna take years until all this garbage is gonna remediate. It's like you go with a plane, and the plane goes, you go down, And when the bigger the angle goes, it's gonna be harder to get it, and you need a bigger altitude to recover the plane. Because if it's in this, and you can't just do it here, it doesn't work that way. You need long, and then if you don't have enough, you go and crash. So that length of altitude, that altitude is the length of time someone needs to remediate a free falling in a $68 billion deficit angle. So you need what? Maybe 30 years, 20 years, 10 years? 10 years that a generation will be screwed. Now, how do you call those guys? They affected it. Their incompetence or their decisions knowing that they're doing it for someone else, not for the Californians. You have Gavin Newsom. He's the governor of California. He's the president, right? The president of the government of California. So he's in charge. He wants to be the president of the United States of America. That guy should not be the dog catcher in a village in Montana. Not even. Right? Nothing like that. And he wants to be. He goes and he debates another guy, DeSantis. Why another guy? I saw how he reacted to the Middle East thing. And for me it was, okay, bye-bye. I don't want to see you anymore as DeSantis. I liked you, but that showed me who you are. Bye-bye. Go with them. Right? So that guy, Gavin Newsom, wants to be elected. Now, he's not the worst. There are others that are as bad as he is or worse. But we should not accept these guys to come near somewhere where they want to be elected and supported by donors. What would you do with these guys? When they celebrated, we're going to increase the minimum wage. What they say? I made a video on that one. I can't remember how many months ago. 6 months ago, I said, the economy is going to go down. Why? Because when these guys increase the minimum wage, that's bread. Okay? Oh, yeah, that's good. We're going to have fun. The businesses will have to increase the price of production. And they will drop that on whom? On them, because they will buy the products that are now more expensive. So you get a bust, but the prices will go like this as well. And they always go more than you get a bust. Idiots. And they talk about, whenever refer to Wilders, Wilders from the Netherlands and won the elections, the far right, when they talk about Marine Le Pen, when they talk about Meloni, but Meloni is a loser, is a fake, a fraud, Meloni of Italy. They talk about these guys as being populists. Gavin Newsom is a populist. But when they talk about Marine Le Pen, or they talk about, as I said, Geert Wilders, they're populists, not good. That's how you're supposed to think about them. Not good. But when this guy is giving assistance, public assistance to the Californians, from whom? They give, this is bread, like the Romans, bread. When they give them a minimum wage, this and that, this is bread. The market should dictate the price. Unfortunately, too many, too much legislation, too many constraints, too much regulation. It's like you have let's say, I have a pain here. And you go and say, I want to solve this. What do I do? Some movements. Well, no. I will prescribe you medication, the doctor. And you get a medication, and then that one has side effect. You start something else right here and say, hey doctor, what can I do? Do I need to, I don't know, go in the open space, breathe? No, I'm going to give you some pills. They're going to keep it under control. And you get that one. And then from that one, you got 3 other situations. Your doesn't go up. I don't know, your knees, something, your liver, something happens. Actually here, something happens and so on. What are you going to do? You get a lot of medication that inside of you, they will fight with one another with side effects, and you will not understand what side effect is produced by what medication. This is probably not supposed to be provided in the prescribed in the first place. So you got 10 medication inside your system. They all fight, the chemicals fight with one another. And when these guys, you come and say, oh, I have this right here, what am I supposed to do? The doctor has no clue what causes that. Why? Because he's going to look and say, well, it's because, that's the thyroid gland right there. It's not that. Probably it's about the 15,000 chemicals you got from the medication he prescribed for something that could have been solved with, some abs or something. I'm exaggerating, I make it like this so you understand what I'm talking about, and I'm pretty sure you understand it's not a genius move here. So the same thing is with regulations in the marketplace. And when you start regulating and putting caps and all that, this is the medication, the pills that an idiot gives it to you, prescribes it to the society, and then there are consequences. You solve, you think one thing, and you create 10 side effects. But from the 10 side effects, you don't see all the 10 side effects. You see only 5. Because 5 are underneath, you don't see them yet. And then you try to solve those ones, you create 10 more. And those ones over there, they grow like a cancer and they destroy you. And you don't know what to do at one point. And you don't understand. It's like you have to say, break the page and start with a new one. But you can't do this. It's all too regulated. And these guys are right now populists. We're going to give the people, vote for me, I'm going to give you free stuff. I'm going to give you this, I'm going to give you this. It's all for us. Attack the rich. But you're rich. You're rich for the rest of the world. A poor American, compared with the rest of, with 7 billion people on this planet, he's a rich bitch. But he's not looking at it that way. He looks at about what? Not even 1% of the whole world. He's looking at those guys and saying, oh, those guys are the rich. Let's attack them. The same thing could be saying, 80% of the world population can look at him and say, no, attack him, he's the millionaire. You are the billionaire for 80% of this globe. Did you think about that? No, because you look only up. Those guys, let's get them money, let's rob them. I'm not for them. But if there's no illegality, what am I supposed to do? Regulate? And how do I regulate? Do I put caps on people's income? Who am I to put a cap on someone's profits? Who am I to say, you know what, you should, as I met a lot of people, you should not, they dictate somehow, they have the knowledge, you should not earn more than $20 billion, you should not have more, why do you need? Because I need, it's not your business in the first place. They don't get it, it's not your business in the first place. But you should not, nobody should have more than 20 million, it's more than enough. The point is not that, you have no right to limit my success. And in this case, success is rewarded in money. So again, California, what are they going to do? I tell you what they're going to do. They're going to do the same shit. Unless California will have a little political revolution and some extreme right will come and take over. And then it's going to be very bad because when you have extremes, you have extreme measures. And they always kind of end up bad for some people. Those guys that got right here 68 billion budget deficit, those guys are not only losing their job because they screwed my kids if I live in California, my kids' future, I'm going to be like an idiot 10 years at least to remediate if you implement some good policies now, which they will not, because they will not say, you know what, introspection here. No, it was because of us. How can we make it? We got to change this. That was not the right decision. That was not the right decision. You can't go back to the 50 medications, pills that you were prescribed. You can't, because you're going to fight with interests that get money out of that. So how are you going to roll back the regulations? You can't, because every time you do this, you take the job of some companies, some interest that were created and they helped you get elected. How are you going to do that? You will never win an election again. And you know who's going to win? Someone who's going to tell those guys, no, I'm going to keep the regulations. I'm going to keep this. That means what? 68 is going to turn into 90 next year. And it's going to 120. And they talk about it. I don't want to hear California saying anything about, we are the engine of United States. Really? You can't even fucking survive. What are you talking about? You can't even survive. What are you talking about? You're in deficit. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.